Hey, this is King Simon. Remember, make sure you go to my website, kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com, or Linktree at King Simon, the numeral base. Get all 4 of my books, and of course, that's the numeral base for mental stability. Numbers are simple, people are complicated. Numbers are simple, children's health is important, and no promotion is bad promotion. Just spell my name right. Make sure you get them now on all my links. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. Go now. Greetings, family. This is your brother, King Simon. And in honor of our dear brother, Paul Mooney, we're going to do something special today. I want to welcome all of you here. I had the chance of hanging out with Paul Mooney. I've had the chance of meeting him and also bringing him to New York. So we want to say rest in power to our dear brother, Paul Mooney, as we salute him and as I play an excerpt from one of the lectures he did at, well, it's an event, myself and Brother Polite, and I think the House of Consciousness was also part of that, but it was definitely me and Brother Polite that produced this event back in 2013, 2012. Without any further ado, family, let's hear from our beloved brother, Mr. Paul Mooney, as we give him a salute to the cosmic ancestors right here on King Simon Presents.
Especially you ones from the islands and the British subject and French and all that bullshit. You think you're special. They do. They think that I went to the islands. I don't care if they're here. I'm being honest with you. I went there. They think they're special. They do. You think you're special, especially you ones from, what's that place with a little Jamaica? Where is it that what the islands are? Yeah, you really think you special. Because they dropped you off first. You came from Africa. That's where you come from. No, because
hold on. Let me know if you could hear. Press the number 1, please. Press the number 1 if you can hear. If you can hear Paul Mooney's voice, please press the number 1 right now. Press the number 1. I turned it off for a second, but please press the number 1. So for the next 3 more minutes, we're going to play Paul Mooney. If you heard, did you hear his voice? Press the number 1, please, right now, so I can make sure that we're good. So let me play it. Let me continue this. This was at CPAC in Brooklyn.
When I went there, the first thing
Hold on.
They said to me was, "Welcome home." I said, "Nigga, welcome halfway home." When we get to Africa, nigga, we'll both be home. That's the truth. Everybody gets it twisted. If you take an African zebra to Canada, it does not make it the zebra. It makes it an African zebra living in Canada. Everybody gets it twisted. It's the truth. They all get it twisted. Let me tell you something. Race is the most important thing in the world in America. It means everything. And if your skin is white, if you have the complexion for the protection for the collection, if you got that white skin, you got it going. That's why every time I see a homeless white person, I just break out crying. What a waste of white skin. It's the truth.
Oh, brother.
I don't know where you work or who's your boss, but that white person is coming in, you could teach them, and they'll fire you and they'll take your job. And that's happened to a lot of you, haven't it? You teach them and they tell you, you got to go. But I taught him, go. Now, on your job, all of you, see, words are powerful, and I'll be back. I haven't forgotten about race. You think I have, but I'll be back. Words are very powerful, and I'm going to give all you black people, because they're powerful to white folks, I'm going to give you some, how you can use power in words. They mean everything. On your job, your boss, if a policeman stops you, in your whitest voice, look at the policeman and go, "Officer, can't we be civilized about this?" Use that word. Watch the look they give you. Civilized, that's the word, because they're civilized. You're from the jungle, not me. We're primitive. The reason, and somebody said, when they gonna give us some money? These white folks ain't gonna never give you niggas no money. Would you give your cow some money? You own your goddamn cow. You ain't giving your cow no money. They owned us. They will never ever give it. They'll give everybody else everything. They'll talk it. They'll talk a good talk. They'll all Obama, everybody will talk it, but they will never give us no money. They think they did us a favor by taking us from the jungle. I helped you. You were eating each other until I found you. And we so retarded. Aren't we retarded? We're so dumb. All the diamonds in Africa. You ever been to Africa? They're on the ground like rocks. It was rocks to us. Because it was everywhere. Get that rock out of here. When them white folks saw that niggas didn't know diamonds was diamonds, they couldn't wait to get back to Africa. If they hadn't invented boats, they'd have swam back.
May the late, great Paul Mooney rest in eternal peace. He was a friend. He was a comrade. He was my brother. And I had the opportunity of bringing him in. And when I heard it, the tears came to my eyes because, you know, he's always been very cordial, very respectful, been a very good gentleman to myself. He was also a good friend of a mutual friend of mine, Aton Edwards, and Kim Coles, you know, the actress from Living Single. We was all good friends, but he was more their friend, but I was introduced through them, and of course grew up watching him and paying attention to him and Richard Pryor's career. And I had the chance to bring him in town, shake his hand, hug him, embrace him, and bring him on stage. If you go to this my channel right here on King Simon Presents, you can go to this particular broadcast, Throwback Paul Mooney at CBAC, right here on King Simon Presents, to watch part 1 and part 2 of Paul Mooney in Brooklyn, New York at CPAC for the first time ever, because they never been in a club like that. And it was a few technical difficulties, but it is what it is. But family, rest in power. And isn't it ironic that he transitioned on Malcolm X's birthday? As radical as Paul Mooney was, he transitioned right on Baba Omawale, the one, the only Malcolm X's birthday, just like Sam Greenlee, who wrote the book Spook Who Sat by the Door. He transitioned on Malcolm X's birthday also. So soldiers like this understood, and they decided to make their move right there in the last moment. Once again, love and honor and salute to the now ancestor. All you comedians out there, take a page from his book. He was a writer, social commentary. Take a page. He read, he studied, he watched Bobby Hemmett, he watched Dr. Africa. Matter of fact, he was a friend of Dr. Africa. So this guy knew. He was a friend of Blue Pill and Red Pill's moms, Annette Thomas. This guy knew the consciousness. So enough respect to brother Paul Mooney. As we continue, as we get prepared for Lioness Crowned, let me run these commercials down, and then we're going to keep it moving right after that on a salute, 96-day salute of Malcolm X right here on King Simon Presents. Don't touch that dial. Make sure you share, like, and we'll be back after these messages. Yes, family, tonight, today, this afternoon, this morning, wherever you may be, all 196,594,940,000 square miles of the planet Earth. Let me rewind that and come again. Oh, it's your brother King Simon. And of course, today we are saluting Baba Malcolm X. Today. And we got on one of our dear friends that we're going to bring it up. We're going to be bringing him up momentarily. I see Empress Aisha Moore in the background. So let me bring myself up in the building. Yeah, let me turn my hat around. Get my face ready. And get ready. So, I'm ready to have a joy. It's a joyful day today because we're saluting not only Baba Malcolm X, but we're giving a honorable respect to all those freedom fighters that do what they do. Give them all a round of applause also. So just want to remind you, family, don't forget tomorrow, Baba Phil Valentine. Now, let me turn this down, or let me turn this music off real quick because this is special because Baba Phil Valentine has been getting people's YouTube channel get canceled and shut down. So my link is going to be private. So y'all have to go to the community section in order for you to get the link to see Baba Phil Valentine on Ministry of New Motivation or the New Motivation Nation. Or you could go to my Patreon channel, which will be streaming live on King Simon Production. Or you go to Facebook and also Twitter will be broadcast. But we are not going to do it. We're not going to do it publicly. So we're going to make it private. But it's a private link that you can actually, if you want to see it on YouTube, you have to go to the community section right here on King Simon Presents. And then boom, you can click on that link, either the Patreon or the YouTube channel. And guess what? You'll get to see Baba Phil Valentine this coming Thursday, which is tomorrow. And then, of course, on Saturday, I'm going to be interviewing these beautiful people right here, myself included. It's an interview on IG, Facebook, and YouTube with Ama Akata and also Brother Joshua Sarah. Math is God's autobiography. We're going to be speaking about it. So make sure you subscribe to King Simon Presents. And just want to remind you, family, on Sunday, we got this beautiful sister coming in. She's not only a petty officer in the Navy, but she's a multi-published author and trauma and pain survivor. We will be having her on Sunday. And then on, of course, the Wednesday, closing out this month of May, we have the one, the only, well, not actually closing out, but we have Susie Q, who is the owner and founder of the Native New Yorker, first Black-owned and operated booking, modeling, and acting agency in Montreal, Canada. And she's formerly known as the Disco Diva Susie Q. She'll be in the building. And then we're going to do a spotlight, spread light and love on a sponsor on Saturday, May the 29th with Better Health Shop, the one, the only Better Health Shop owned. Mrs. Burns will be in the building. Althea Burns will be here with us at 12 noon on Saturday. And then that lecture I'm going to be doing at Nicholas Brooklyn in Brooklyn, May the 30th, will be there. Math is God's autobiography. Can you read it? With myself, Sister Alma, and Brother Joshua Sarah. We will all be in the building at Nicholas, so make sure y'all come on out, have a good time if you're in the New York area. And if we might be live streaming it right here on King Simon Present at a certain cost, let me find out. I'm gonna make that happen and let y'all know by the end of this weekend, right? By the first beginning of next week. So tune in and keep it locked. So let's bring on. Let's bring myself on. Let me bring my partner in Vibe on. The one, the only Aisha Amore is in the background, and then we're going to bring on Lioness Crowned, who's also in the background. Aisha, turn on. Make sure you unmute your mic, Aisha. Unmute the mic. Unmute the mic.
I did.
There you go.
I did. I unmuted the mic.
Go. How you doing, girl? How's everything?
Oh, good. I got to fix my lighting, look like.
Yeah, you're looking dark. You're looking dark. Yeah. You're in darkness. You're in darkness.
I got so much light in my living room, but this is different.
You're in darkness. like Rick James would say, you're in darkness. So I hope everything is well. How your afternoon been going so far?
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
good. I'm vibed up. I'm energized now. It went through a little roller coaster, but it is what it is. I know how to jump off of roller coasters. That's the good thing about it. I learned how to jump off and parachute right down. I'll be on the parachute, yeah, baby. Roller coaster ain't gonna get my ass. So it is what it is. And thank you very much for being able to show up around this time. Enough respect to you. And first of all, now in the back, I got in the backstage here. I know I want to bring on. It's now 3:03. Okay, we got the master number kicking in. Got that angel number kicking in. 3:03. So without further ado, she's no stranger to our channel family. So, you know, we got from Fly Nubian Queen, of course, on YouTube. And also she has her own channel, Lioness Crowned. We want to welcome the one, the only Jade Arrindell, a.k.a. the Lioness Crowned, in the building. Let's give her a well-deserved round of applause as she comes in. Yeah. What's up?
Peace. I'm doing well. Peace, Empress Aisha, and peace,
Lioness Crowned. I love your name. Oh my gosh, love it.
Thank you. I'm grateful to be here today and to commemorate our ancestor on his born day, Malcolm X. And also, I did a podcast today earlier, thanking our new ancestor, Paul Mooney, for what he left behind and what he taught us as well. And so I really appreciated the intro that you did on him, for this show.
Thank you. That was an event that myself and Brother Polite produced some years ago, and it was well attended. Although it was a very large space, well attended. People were spread out like it was a situation going on, but it was well attended. And Paul is a very authentic Leo spirit, and he gave of himself. And he, you know what's so funny? You see him in a beard at that time, but he wasn't able to make it to the hotel because of traffic. So he told the driver, Brother Shabazz, big up to Brother Shabazz from Open Eye. He told the driver, drive me straight there because I like to be on time. And he got there and he tore the show up. He tore the place up. And with him, it's like sitting in his living room. He's just that natural. It's like, he's like, yo, I'm here. I didn't shave up. Let's do this, and we had to set up the stage and everything for him. And He really turned it into a comedy room when it's actually like a big stage for big reggae stage show, and it was called CPAC, the nightclub over there on 49th and Farragut. Big up to George Crooks and the whole jamming production that allowed us in there at that time. But yeah, Paul was that dude, and I met him. I've met him before numerous times, and also worked with him at Caroline's. And he's a good friend of a few friends of mine, Aton, Kim Coles, who's an actress now doing her thing, and of course many other comedians mimic him and try to imitate him. But there'll be none like Paul Mooney at the end of the day. None will be like Paul Mooney. You know what I'm saying? So, but well, let's step right in, because this is the 96th Earth Day of our dear Baba Omowale, the great Malcolm X. And I see, big up to Professor James Smalls and the whole OAAU that and the Sons of Africa that does their regular tribute to him every year at his grave site. I just seen that. I was watching that on Facebook, and his nephew was there. One of his grand nephews was there, and they spoke, and it was very well attended, but lightly attended, but enough people to speak and show that love to not only Brother Malcolm, but his wife, who's buried right next to him. If you ever been there, and they do it every year, so if you're not able to make it this year, you can go there next year and go up there with the contingent of people showing love. They've been doing it for 56 years. They've been doing that tribute to him for 56 years. So it's a beautiful thing. So I'm just honored, and I'm glad Lioness Crowned, you're able to make it, and you're in the building. And how you been, Lioness? How you been?
I'm blessed. I'm doing really well. Interestingly, I had a conversation with members of an organization I belong to, the National Black United Front. I'm the National Vice Chair of Administration. And over the weekend, we got to have a talk with Mr. A. Baba Elder A. Peter Bailey, who was actually one of the pallbearers for Malcolm X. And he came in and he talked to us about, his books that he's written about, Malcolm X, and them really getting the organization of Afro-American unity off the ground. Some of the work that he also did for the newspaper. And he really was able to speak to the impact that Brother Malcolm, our ancestor Malcolm, had on him at that time. At that time, he said that, Malcolm X was the only one that he heard, like the first person he ever heard to really have him think about the impact of what white supremacy is, and the psychological warfare and the psychological, mind games that white folks have played on Black folks, right? Even through language, making positive associations to things that are white, making negative associations with things that are Black. Right. And Baba Bailey also spoke to the fact, he said, before Malcolm, he said, if you call someone an African or if you call someone Black, that was fighting words, back in the day. And that, what Brother Malcolm was able to do was to restore a level of dignity and Black pride within especially the younger generation. And that was something that really stuck with him. And so I started off this week, really, really thinking about and getting grounded in, our ancestor. And as we are on his 96th born day today, I see that there are no coincidences that, Paul Mooney transitioned on this day, as you spoke to before. But I'm just really excited to be here. I've been looking over some of my most favorite Malcolm X quotes, and I want to share a couple things, and especially really bring a message to the youth to really get to rediscover or discover for the first time, if you don't really know much about the ancestor, because he's left us so much.
That's right. He did leave us very much. I mean, I read the autobiography years ago when I was younger, and I was a part of the Nation of Islam when, some people talk outside of it, but I was there, and I still have a lot of the information and a lot of the discipline with me that covers me wherever I've been, whether when I was in the nightclub, whatever I've done. Whatever I was into with the music, I've always walked with the same general orders that Malcolm X even followed under the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad for the 12 years that he was there. And you can see he always still carried that with him. Even the name El Malik El Shabazz, that was a name given to him by Elijah Muhammad. A lot of people don't know that. Not people don't know that name. And he, that him going to Mecca way before, back in the 1950s, way before he went to Mecca after that. Elijah Muhammad sent them there. So I studied that history, and I'm so happy to be a part of that legacy, just being in that community and learning, and then coming out and still being part of the grassroots community as much as I possibly can, and dealing with certain people and being connected to, whether it's the Moors, the Hebrews, the this, the that. You had to be connected. Even the Black Panther and the new Black Panther through Dr. Khalid, who was a friend of mine also. So it's been a wonderful journey. As you can see, we've gone through these journeys growing up into this movement, and I've been into it since I was 14. So I totally get it. So, sister, I'm honored that you're here. I think Empress Aisha had to go, but I think she's back, ready to get back in. But tell us, Lioness. The subject is, and I want everybody to share this. No trolls. If you try to troll, I'm leaving you trolls out. I'm gonna block the troll. I ain't got no time for trolls. Really good. And so the title of this is not only his 96. But also we want to speak on how should young people apply his message today. And because you and Empress Aisha Moore are the youngest amongst me, amongst us, y'all can start off first. So our guest, please, Lioness, please start off first, please, from your perspective.
Absolutely. Well, the first thing I would say that I really appreciate about our ancestor Malcolm is that it's really important for us to move away from the negative stigmas and associations with, his assassination, and his name being, wrapped up in scandal and all of those things, and look at the example of a powerful Black man that he was able to be as he was, with the time that he was here on this planet. So I think that should be the focus when we talk about him. That's the first thing I want to say to the youth. Secondly, he was a man's man. Now, there's a photo, I believe, of him teaching a class, a NOI class, men's class. Yeah. And, it's circulated, and I've shared that photo, right? And so I don't know exactly what year that was. I would assume it was probably the early 1960s, where he was teaching the brothers. And I know maybe King Simon, you can speak on this a bit more, exactly like what those attributes of manhood are. And if you would take those same teachings and that same image and apply it to what society is trying to tell us, our people, our Black men and Black women, about what masculinity is and is not, it is the complete polar opposite. And so what I will offer the younger generation is for us to really, really hold fast to those principles of manhood and that example of manhood, of being a provider, of being a protector, of being a leader, being a helpmeet, and exactly what husbandry is. There is no shame in that. And so I will call on the younger generation of younger Black men to really embrace those teachings by the same token, would really call on our sisters to really nurture that, those principles also within, younger Black men, our sons, nephews, cousins, etc., and really move away from this gender war, sexual warfare that we find ourselves in as a people, as perpetrated onto us by the dominant society, right? So that's one thing I would say. The second thing is, when we see, I know you can go into the numerology all day long, Brother King Simon, about, Brother Malcolm's birthday. But when I look at his cards and Castrology, I'm a student of Malik Deshawn, Castrology for Life. When I look at his birth card, it is the King of Clubs, right? People born on November the 19th, which is today, King of Clubs. That card represents becoming an authority in one of the communications fields, success and recognition. In short, that's what that card means. And his planetary ruler card is the Four of Hearts, stability and love and home. It is the ultimate card of marriage, of family. And that is exactly, what Malcolm X embodied. That was a living example of him being a husband, being a father, and also, sacrificing so much of himself for the community. And those are some of the principles that we need to really think about and stick to and even emulate. We're talking about the younger generations as it pertains to our ancestor.
That's right. No, there's some sound in the background. So, but go ahead, sister. Sister,
that's probably me.
That's you? Oh yeah, you in the boogie down. So I understand. Y'all be making noise. Y'all got a whole rap audience in the background on the street. So yeah, go ahead, my sister. Speak on your because you're growing up Muslim and of course around a Muslim family. Please speak on your experience and what Malcolm means to you and what the youth should actually impart as far as his messages by listening to his messages. What do you think the youth should do with the message today? Please.
Okay, this is Queen Lioness and Brother King Simon. This is very deep because what I get from Brother Malcolm X, from our royal beloved ancestor, is that there's a principle, like Lioness was saying, that we need to uphold no matter what, and we have lost that, and it's really difficult right now because a lot of women are taking on the masculine principles, and we are actually moving forward in that direction, which is also, I feel like, is contributing to feminizing the men, our boys, as they grow up. So they look to the women now, the boys. And what I'm seeing is that a lot of the boys and the young men are looking to their women to be the head of the household, to be the man, but yet they still want to have those same type of privileges as someone who is the head of the household. So from what I got from Malcolm X and from my upbringing, it's like from my upbringing, there wasn't a whole lot of speaking about Malcolm X, but then I did get to learn about him. We mostly study about Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and the Sunni Muslim way of living. So that had an impact where I felt lost in Islam as far as a melanated sister. I didn't feel very connected to the culture like I wanted to be because it was very dominant by Arabs and Pakistanis, which is, not saying anything against them, but to me, the culture was very different from being here in America. Mm-hmm. So what I got from him was the fact that we have to have our own businesses, and that we have to move forward as a people, and that we cannot allow ourselves to integrate to a point where we are losing who we are. That we have to move forward like that. And that's what really struck home to me with him. And the fact that he was just so honest, he was so powerful, he was so real, he was raw with it. And I love the fact that he said, like, we are not turning the other cheek. And I feel like we are doing that in today's time. Like, we are actually turning the other cheek, but we're not turning the other cheek. And we turn the other cheek in a way where we're allowing the youth to be ignorant. We turn the other cheek in a way where we're allowing, we're allowing ourselves to weaken our men, and strengthening the women instead. So I feel like we're just going backwards in other ways. And I see that we are also, a lot of us are wakening up, and we are coming to our truth, but it's still, we have a long ways to go because a lot of us are still very, very lost. Mm-hmm. I recently was watching my sister friend. She recently sent me a picture of a girl group, and all the girls had on like basically their underwears and a brassiere. That's it. And these girls was ranging between probably 6 and 13. And this is where I see that a lot of us are heading. Like, we are actually starting to sexualize the youth, and instead of empowering them through their minds and their talents and their natural abilities, their gifts that they are brought to bring to this earth, we are actually going the opposite direction and just putting them on display as if they're, Mm-hmm. Instead of the white man sexualizing our girls and doing the things that they used to do, we're doing it instead. And we're doing it willingly for money. So, the teachings that he taught, I wish that there were more brothers out here like him. I feel like we don't have enough brothers that are out here like him. And those that are out here like him, they don't have enough support. They don't have enough. And we need to be that. So that's all I have to say for now.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, of course, because of the time and what's going on. So I totally get it. And you know what is interesting, when I was an active member in the Nation of Islam, they had separate classes for men and separate classes for women, which was called the FOI class. And the women's class was called the MGT and GCC, which means Muslim Girl Training, and of course general civilization classes, where they taught not only martial arts, they taught them sewing and cooking and all different etiquettes of womenhood. And in the FY class, like she was speaking on, the men was being taught about how to be prepared for what women was coming out of those classes as the womenhood, and the manhood classes was there. That's why the messenger never wanted any man to teach those classes. He let the women teach that classes, women that were eligible, like the sister captains and all of those people that was eligible to keep the women's classes to the women, and then the men's classes to the men. When we had complaints at all, we would always go to brother captain. If the sister had complaints about the husband on the other side, they would go to sister captain. They would meet up with the brother captain, sister captain, and then they will call us in for a meeting. It's like, and a lot of that is lost. It's just like I was talking to a sister the other day about courtship. Courtship is not going on the same way. And the nation promoted courtship. Still do up to this day, where they have a wali, like in Islam, they have a wali, a male figure that's over them, a father figure that's over them, that will check on who this guy you dealing with, and vice versa. You have to also check who that person is, that woman is also. And that's what the sister captain was there for, or the sister lieutenants, and that's what the brother captain and brother lieutenants was for. And it was Malcolm X that really formulated the military structure of the Nation of Islam to another level when it came to self-defense, putting people like Walter 5X and people like Dr. Moses Powell and a lot of different great martial artists from that time in different parts of the city, in different parts of the United States, so we can teach how to defend ourselves. There was times when if a brother, and this is all stemming from Malcolm's and I gotta say, between Malcolm and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I can't disrespect that union. We'll never disrespect that union, because it was that union that made it stronger. That's what made it stronger. And then there was other ministers that were strong. Jeremiah Shabazz, Minister Farrakhan, all of them were strong in their own right. But when it was Malcolm as a national representative of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, that's why y'all even love him to this day, because he did 12 years of that. 12 years compared to the 1 year or 1.5 years after he left. So that was the power that everybody was drawn to. And why I say this is because when he was there, the FOI was so protective of women, to the point that we had carpooling for women. We can't let you leave the mosque or the temple without getting home safely. Everybody made sure that every woman got home safely. Every woman and child got home safely. And I think they're still doing it to a certain extent to this day and time, or they make sure that women are moving with each other, 2s and 3s and 4s together in this day and time. But I know back in those days, from elders that I've spoken to, who even the ring that you see on Malcolm X's finger, that was a friend of mine who designed that ring and put it on Malcolm's finger. Brother Ramza Mahmoud, aka Walter 5X, who beat up the 5 police officers in New York and was sent to jail back in the 50s because he defended himself against 5 police officers. And this was a product of Malcolm also, and alike. So going back to Brother Malcolm and so much that he's done, we got to respect the union. And when we're unified, that's where the power is. And that's why when he stepped out and did what he had to do and started reaching other world leaders, they had to be afraid of that. They was afraid of that. And we don't want to talk about it if we'll go down that route about what happened. But we know that when you start unifying with other leaders and start getting that type of recognition, oh man, you got the devil on the run then, boy. And the devil, and one thing about the devil, when like Master Dr. Moses Powell used to say, it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. But when the rabbit got the gun, everybody got to run. So we've been treated like the rabbit in society as far as original people in this part of the world, in the wilderness of North America. And we need, now that we got the gun of power, the gun of information, the gun of knowledge, They're going to run, and they're going to cause all of this separation, all this madness, and all this division. This is what's going on right now. A lot of this is happening because they see that they know we got the power. We got the power. We got the power. We just don't know how to effectively put it back into order like we're supposed to. So, Lioness, what is so interesting, and those that are just tuning in, we got our dear sister Lioness Crowned in the building from Fly Nubian Queen in the mother flipping building, and she is a soldier in Jah's army. She's unapologetically Black activist, anti-racism trainer. She's an educator. She's a community organizer. A Cashapp is $ Jharriell. Make sure you show her some love, and also make sure you take her classes too. I understand you teaching through Teachable, right? Is that correct?
Teachable? I'm teaching through, yes, it's on Teachable, but the website is flynubianpower.com.
Okay, put that up there, Fly Nubian Power also. Flynubianpower.com?
Yes.
Fly Nubian.
What is your age range for your classes?
So right now I'm working with adults, but I am working on something for young people because we really have to understand this global prison system of white supremacy and exactly what it is, and really even embody the principles that Malcolm X taught us, which is to create a united Black front and to separate from this beast. And we need to do that, and culturally, financially, economically, mentally, psychologically, in every single way. And so it's about Black empowerment. The pillars of Black empowerment, our scholars, our giants, folks that we need to know, we need to study their works, we need to read Yurugu, we study the compensatory code, Mr. Neely Fuller Jr.'s work, of course, the ISIS papers, Dr. Amos Wilson, Blueprint for Black Power. We've been working on that, and also doing some work about harnessing the powers of our subconscious mind. And so it's a bit of a holistic approach to create Black empowerment. We can go on and on and on all day long about what the European has done to us, what the European continues to do. It's important to understand what's happening right now, right? We practice counter warfare and all that we do. And I'm creating spaces for adults and soon young people to be empowered to say, okay, what are we going to do to break free of this global prison system? How are we going to practice self-determination? What needs to happen? What is the code, right? And what ways do we need to undo and relearn things and really go against the system and go against how white supremacy permeates all 9 areas of people activity? How are we going to practice powernomics? And so thank you for asking the question about the age range. We're working on something for young people and look out for that soon. But we're over on flynubianpower.com, flynubianpower.com. And actually, we have class tonight at 6 p.m. My students coming to class, many of them are in the chat. Shout out to my B1 scholars as well as my the folks who are in Christology for Life. But they come to class not knowing what is going to happen, what I'm going to teach, or what they're going to do. A lot of the learning is experiential, as well as like there's some lecturing parts to it and some reading parts to it, but it's about experiencing and really monitoring our thought, speech, and behavior patterns and changing them in real time to produce justice.
I like that. Thank you. How have your students benefit from it? Like, have they come back and told you any stories or how they had to change their lives or how they have improved their lives and helped others?
Absolutely. So many of them who've been in class for, I think we're on week 16 straight weeks of being in class. Many of them are now in a mastermind, a special mastermind group, which I'm not going to talk about right now. But yeah, they definitely talk about ways in which they shifted their mindset, inner thought patterns and speech patterns in order to produce the results in their lives and constructive results that they want to see. And so, yeah, they definitely do talk about that often. But to your, so I wanted to speak to a point that you brought up earlier, Empress Aisha. There was a quote that Malcolm X said. I want to read this because I do agree with you that the elder generation, I think that we continue to drop the ball for our youth. But this is what he wrote. He said, look at yourselves, some of you teenagers, students. How do you think I feel? And I belong to a generation ahead of you. How do you think I feel to have to tell you my generation, sat around like a knot on a wall while the whole world was fighting for its human rights? And you've got to be born into a society where you still have that same fight. What did we do who preceded you? I'll tell you what we did, nothing. And don't you make the same mistake we made. He said that. And I feel like, unfortunately, you know, as an adult right now, I feel like many of us are doing the same thing. We're dropping the ball on the younger generation. We see all of the agendas and all of the different things that are going on. And many of us, you know, we're not doing enough. We're not doing enough to protect the integrity of our culture and to really protect our children. And if our ancestor Malcolm said this decades ago, right? And we still find ourselves in the same situation.
Yes.
We have to really figure out ways to break the cycle, right? We can even look at some of the pillars of the Organization of African Unity. You know, separation was the main pillar. You know, like I said before, forming a united front, and definitely correcting our minds in the portion that's in there. And we have to do that, and we have to place our children front and center. So, you know, it's kind of disheartening to see that we still see ourselves in that caught up in that same cycle.
That is true. Thank you for reading that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're
welcome. I never heard that before, so thank you.
That's right. That's right. Please go to her website, because Fly Nubian Power. Make sure you support her. The website. We only have our sister until 4 o'clock, so we want to make sure, because she got things to do. She got more work to do on this great day. And of course, you know, as far as, you know, the warrior aspect of Brother Malcolm and what he trickled down through many people, whether it was the Black Panthers or the United Front and the various other community organizations throughout the year, not just to be a warrior on the front line, but also learn how to be a warrior behind the scene in the political world. All of that, a lot of people will tell you. And I know the 100 police officers that care, they're also Michael Graves and all the great ones that I know, they're doing it even in the policing of things, because they see what's going on, and there's not enough good police officers, quote unquote, to offset the bad ones. And it's because it's been corrupt ever since we've been watching American Gangster and Frank Lucas and all. It's been corrupt for years. It's always been corrupt because it's controlled by a bunch of corrupt people. Let's be real. It's the mold of it is controlled by corruption. So it's important. So Empress and Lioness, how important is it that the young nowadays, and children or nephews or nieces that you may have, how important is it for them to be exposed to not only Malcolm, but also his history as a child of the Marcus Garvey movement? He was also a child of, because his father was part of the Garvey movement. So yes. How important is it that you don't expose him just to Malcolm, but the history, the lineage? Elijah Muhammad is part of his lineage, but the Honorable Marcus Garvey is a part of his lineage also. And the women and the men that was around him also. Booker T. Washington was also part of his lineage of studies. You know, John Henry Clark was also a part of his lineage of studies. How important is that to share with the youth of today? Please, from any one of you, or you want to start Lioness Crowned? Let's do it.
Please, yes, Lioness, yes.
So it's important that we have a foundation, you know, that's rooted in an accurate portrayal of Malcolm's life and the philosophies and opinions of Marcus Garvey, which was a driving force that really created him, right? If you didn't know, like, as you know, to Brother King Simon's point, his father was a Garvey guy, right? They were Pan-Africanists. Brother Malcolm grew up in a Pan-Africanist household with his mother and his father. His father, in fact, was so outspoken that he pushed the system. He was not a yes man. He did not bow, turn the other cheek, none of that to these Europeans. And he ended up murdered, right? But white folks, let them tell it. They said that he committed suicide by the train tracks. Everyone knew that was a lie. And so, you know, that resulted in Malcolm's mom, you know, having a mental nervous breakdown. She ended up in a hospital, and, you know, he and his siblings were put into foster care, where he had to go into a white household and learn, you know, and live in there and depend on these people, right? Coming from a Pan-Africanist household. But what his father taught him, which was what Marcus Garvey, the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, taught him, always stuck to him, right? And so there was something in the spirit that says, yes, we are going to push back against the system, and we're going to stand up proud and tall as strong Black men and strong Black women. So it's important for us to have an ideology and a philosophy rooted in Pan-Africanism, self-determination, and knowing what it means to really, really be Black and to be proud, right? It's not enough for us to just look at one historical icon, another historical icon, and their work in silos, but we have to really have a unified philosophy that's going to really push our young people forward.
That's right. That's right.
And also to use the example from all of the adversities, we just look at Brother Malcolm, right? Just his life in general. He went from a very, very stable household, right? Still, they're victims of white supremacy, right? Things happen, and he went through a lot of adversity, and he was still each time able to get up and become stronger, to get up and do more, and to give more, and to be more. In fact, another one of his quotes is probably my favorite one. If young people can listen to this, internalize this. He said, "I finished the 8th grade in Mason, Michigan. My high school was the Black ghetto of Roxbury, Massachusetts. My college was in the streets of Harlem, and my master's was taken in prison."
Wow.
So no matter what the adversity is, right? Life itself is a lesson, right? We go through an amount of experiences, and if we are doing what we're supposed to do, we are supposed to see ourselves as students of life, right? Put here for a purpose. And if you keep that mindset, no matter what situation you find yourself in, if you are united, on a purpose for your people, and you are really, really devoted to servant leadership, you will be blessed, and you will learn from all of those trials and tribulations. And so no matter what your past is, what has happened, what mistakes you have made in your life, you are still worthy and divine to really step into your higher self and to be a contribution to our community, to our people, and a blessing to the world.
That's a powerful. People that are just tuning in, family, we have with us the one, the only Lioness Crowned. That's right. You've seen on Fly Nubian Queen Network, and big up to them, the whole crew over there. And of course, you can also, she's like she said, she's a soldier in Jah's army. Lord of mercy. Unapologetically a Black anti-racism trainer, educator, community organizer. Her Cashapp, you got to hit up at Jharriell, and of course her IG is at Lioness Crowned. Those that are into the IG and doing that, but don't forget, you want to take her classes and find out more about her, you got to go to FlyNubianPower.com, Fly Nubian Power, to go take these classes, because the classes will get in your asses so you can do what you got to do. I'm being real. You know what I'm saying? So stay focused. You know what I'm saying? We're broadcasting not only on Twitter, we're broadcasting on YouTube, we're broadcasting on King Simon Productions and King Simon on Facebook too. So we're on 4 different platforms right now. And we're also on on Patreon, my Patreon page. That's King Simon Production. That's patreon.com/King Simon Production. So we want to make sure everybody's tuned in and locked in on multiple levels. Now, Empress, do you have a question? Please, you can share. You can go ahead and drop some questions if you want.
Oh my goodness, Lioness, I would like to just compliment you right now, because with everything you just said you were so well articulate. You was very clear in what you had to say, and I just love it. It's like how you speak and your voice, everything. It flows easy and it's digestible, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Sorry. Yeah. But more than a question right now, really, it's not a question. It's just, to follow, through with what Lioness had just spoken. I love Lioness. I just gotta keep saying Lioness. What I would like to say is that what I feel as far as the importance of knowing your history and knowing, the works of Malcolm X and Marcus Garvey and those so on. But, since we're particularly speaking of Brother Malcolm X, I'm just going to speak about him, is that, when the youth do not know enough, and I'm speaking from my own personal experience, I'm not speaking as like a scholar, but I'm speaking from my own personal experience, is that when you don't teach the youth, they are so lost. They are going to find so many different avenues, going wherever they can go to find the truth. And sometimes in the midst of that search, they get lost, because they don't know what direction, what path to take. I'm looking for you all, King Simon. I feel weird not having you all here with me.
Just go ahead and do what you do, sir.
Can I see you? Can I see you?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. Keep on moving.
So my thing is, you have to teach them, because once they become an adult and get into the world, and then they trying to find their place, because for those parents who only subject their children to religion, and there's nothing wrong with religion, but when you subject your children to strictly religion predominantly, and then you give them bits and pieces of history, it's not enough. You have to find both. The world's got to come together as one. If you have a religion that is like, for example, Islam has so many different schools, so many different like
denominations.
Say it again.
Denominations.
That was another word I was looking for, but denominations. You get lost in other people's culture, and cultures that, that's not here, where we are. So here we are, from my past, I'm thinking about learning about the culture of people in Saudi Arabia, so that's not where I'm at in my growth in this current time and in this age where, of where I was born. I wasn't born there. I'm born here, but yet I'm living a lifestyle and a culture that's not, where I cannot find Malcolm X. There's no Marcus Garvey. There's no Elijah Muhammad. There's none of them. There's no Harriet. There's nobody, we're just learning strictly about, the great ones from their culture. And there's nothing wrong with that. But the problem comes in when you are having an identity crisis now, because it's like, how do you connect with your own people now? How do you connect with your history? There's a time when, from my own experience, I didn't want to know about my history. I didn't see the relevance of it. It didn't have the importance like it does now. So I feel that, when you have those people who don't have it, then their children become even more lost, or from my personal experience, learning it later in life, and now trying to play catch up with my daughters. And now they don't want to hear it like that because they're already caught up in their world. So it's very important that we teach our children and that we take the time to study it and to learn. If we don't know, we can't blame the past, because we have to take time out and really sit down and do the works ourselves. But it's a process, and it's a painful one, because the hurt and the things that you learn about and the struggles you learned about, you start to feel like, well, how do I fit in the struggle? Where do I start with the struggle? How do I continue, and where do I make it better? Now you're trying to find, how you can do it. And that's also another mission within itself.
Absolutely. And that's why it's important for us to really celebrate ways in which we have historically and continue to resist, right? But if you let the Europeans tell it, we're just sitting around getting beat up all the time for hundreds or thousands of years or whatever. And that's just not true, right? What our children have is a whitewashed version of, docile Negroes being abused and taken advantage of. And the only way to survive and live and get access to any safety, protections, and resources is to submit to white power. And that is a lie, right? And so that's how we have our Malcolm X's. That's how we have our Marcus Garvey's. That's why we have, our elders who resist. Even if you look at Paul Mooney, what he was able to do, in the entertainment industry, right, as an agent of Black power and adamant and consistent of white supremacist culture and domination, right? And so, but that never gets highlighted. The dominant society always portrays a narrative of us being subjugated. And that's why you're right. The work with our youth And all of us having a common cultural, historical, political education that is empowered and Black centered, that really enforces self-determination, is imperative to our survival.
That's a powerful thing. Now, family, those tuning in, please like, share, thumb up the video to build the algorithms, of course. And remember, it's all about quality, not necessarily quantity. But if you share, you know you're going to get the quality into the mind of somebody else, so the quality and the quantity can grow together. Now, a lot of people, it's 45 minutes before, actually 15 minutes before the top of the hour, and we only have her for 15 more minutes. A lot of people don't know that this beautiful sister is in the new movie by Tariq Nasheed called Breaking, the movie.com. Now, I watched the movie. I got the DVD. I got it in, and I watched the whole entire movie. And, and this is why the energy of Malcolm X is so important. That's why the energy of a Dr. Khalid Muhammad is so important. That's why the energy of a Queen Nzinga or Fannie Lou Hamer, all the great ones that have done the work, Harriet Tubman, is so important, because this is what we had to deal with. They tried to break the bucks, the men that were strong in front of their family, their women and children. And this movie details that by Tariq Nasheed. Big up to Tariq Nasheed. And of course, big up to this beautiful sister that was also featured in the movie. Tell us about your experience dealing with that and how it relates to Malcolm X and why we need to fight against the buck breakers, or we need to break their ass up. Please.
Well, thank you for raising the question. Shout out. That's the whole word, though. That's a fact. Listen, let me take my glasses off.
Shout out to glasses off, but show those eyes, those beautiful eyes. Stop playing.
Shout out to our brother Tariq Nasheed for being a filmmaker, and everyone who contributed to the project. I'm really, honored to have participated and contributed to the project. You can go over to buckbreakingmovie.com, and then also, it is the #1 best-selling, top-selling film. It beats out the Avengers, Harry Potter, and the rest of the films out there. #1 on Amazon, 3rd week in a row. So y'all go, you can buy it on there. But my experience with the film is that, listen, the agenda is real. There's a whole historical record of this happening. And then also my experience is the messaging that's taking place right now. That happens in schools. Black boys who show any level of agency that are masculine, they're taught that masculinity is toxic, right? That's the opposite of what our ancestor Malcolm X, shout out to him and happy birthday to him. That is the opposite of what he stood for, right? It's the opposite of what our grandfathers and great-great-grandfathers and many of our fathers and even people right now, actually are willing to accept. But there are punishments for being assertive in the classroom, in schools, if you show any, dominant features, characteristics rather, right? So for a Black boy, they're taught that they're disruptive. These are coded words, coded language. Disruptive, disrespectful, unruly, poor behavior. They get sent out of class, suspended more often than if a white boy were doing the same thing. But a white boy shows assertiveness in school. Oh, he is so intelligent. He's cheeky. Oh, he's so charming. He's so cute. So there's, they're rewarded for those behaviors, for that masculinity, and then our boys are not. And then also, we need to really look at some of these policies that are really pushing this sexualization of children, getting children to think about sexuality at a very, very young age. That is just completely inappropriate. It's really not the place of the school. And so that is where I'm coming from, in terms of the work that I do as an educator. I'm someone who's taught, someone who got their master's degree at 23 years old, 37 now. I've been teaching and working in school environments, and I've devoted my career to this. We definitely see a shift, and we see a shift happening at the hands of the liberal left-wing white supremacists versus the conservative right-wing white and right-wing white supremacists, right? And so those are some of the things that I talk about in the film. We also have our brother Riza Islam in it. He's doing a screening. If you're in the Atlanta area this weekend, he's doing a screening of Buck Breaking and a Q&A, which I will participate in Atlanta So go over to buckbreakingmovie.com to get tickets if you want to, come and support and participate in that. But the film itself covers this agenda, this war on Black manhood and Black masculinity, and then also ways in which white folks have used sex as a means of dominance, control, and conflict to the Black man and to the Black woman. Because when you break a Black male sexually and psychologically, we lose our protection, right? And so it creates this, sort of disorder that has happened generationally within our community that needs to be corrected. But a lot of folks, if you don't know that history and how it's actually playing out now in various ways, from what you're learning in school to the food you eat, hormonal manipulation to the signs and things that are put out in the media, the propaganda that's in television and TV shows. I don't watch television, by the way. But the film itself, it touches on so many different things. We have Professor Kaba Kabade in there, Professor James Small is in there, Judge Joe Brown is in it, so many other people. Lashai, who's beautiful, she's from the West Coast, who narrates a lot of it. Dr. Mar'a out of Baltimore. It is something that we need to see, and it really, this is the point that I want Black folks to get out of this. We need to make sure we are separating what is natural and customary to us as people and what has been imposed upon us. And we have to, yes, we're different. We have, heterosexual Black folks. We have, LGBT Black folks within the Black community. And there, at some point, we have to understand that we have a common enemy and we have been manipulated and put against each other. And we do not let the white man or the white woman off the hook, right? And a lot of this stuff is being perpetuated. Some of the biggest racists are white members of the LGBTQIA plus, right, which includes the P community. And so we need to keep the focus on white supremacy. So I'll leave it at that, but go over to buckbreakingmovie.com. And if you're in Atlanta this weekend, come through.
Yeah, that should be fun. I wish I was getting out there to Atlanta, but I won't be out there until the Father's Day, quote unquote Father's Day weekend. But I know y'all gonna have a good time. I know RZA is something entertaining himself. He's very entertaining, but very educating also. So enough respect to all of them and all of y'all that are going to be doing this panel discussion. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I will watch it over again. Because I have all the series anyway. I have all of them, so I have it all the movies that he's ever done, and I know this franchise is big. So people go to buckbreakingmovie.com. Rick Nasheed's movie. Make sure you get it, and it's on Amazon. If you're on Amazon, make sure you show some love. Big up to Christopher Ellis. I guess he's showing a lot of love. Thank you, Christopher, and all those. Transatlantic production, the great Clemson Brown is on here, who filmed Dr. Ben, Dr. Clark, all of the greats. He's on here. What's up, brother? Good to see you, sir. Thank you very much for coming in. And he's one of our elders in the community that have been doing great work. He's interviewed Asa Hilliard. He's had, he's had Amos Will. He has films on Amos Will. He has the largest collection of our history as far as the great elder Barashango, everybody he has. So enough respect to the elder. Thank you for tuning in, brother. Thank you for tuning in. Before, I know we got another 8 minutes with you, my dear. We got another 8 minutes with you. One thing I would like to say in regards to that buck breaking movie, a lot of people don't know that, and I understand why a speaker once said that we need a genetic colonic. We need a genetic colonic. We need to remove, and I'll tell you who said it too. It was Brother Polite that said it when he was in his metaphysics teaching era, early in his time when he was really teaching. And he said he wrote a book called Genetic Colonic, and why we need to canonically move the European out of our blood and out of our system, out of our mind and all of that. This is what he was teaching. I don't know what's going on now, but I know this is what he was teaching back in the day. And I believe that wholeheartedly, that we do need a genetic colonic. And I know from a certain perspective, he still believes in that because he keeps his black wives around him. So I know what that is. So from that statement, what do you feel about a genetic colonic, Empress, or Lioness? What you feel about a genetic colonic? Huh?
Lioness.
I just said I spoke about that.
So
hope that y'all can answer. Don't be afraid to answer. Just
yes, please pick up where I leave off, because I'm kind of speechless at the thought of like the imagery of a genetic colonic. But if I had to liken it to anything, I would say, you know, Dr. Joy DeGruy, also one of my teachers, you know, she wrote Post-Traumatic Slavery Syndrome, the final chapter, and everything after that work. It really, yes, exactly. I have
wow, King Simon.
Healing is the final chapter of that book, right? Healing is a final chapter of that book. So there is epigenetic trauma. Our DNA has been altered. We have a lot of cortisol and hormones and things that make us constantly, you know what I'm saying, that constantly trigger us. And then also a lot of the pain, the trauma, right? Alcoholism, depression, these things have been passed down from generation to generation. And so, yes, we need a genetic colonic, but I guess I would say we need healing, right? We need healing, and healing is possible, right? There are ways to reclaim ourselves, to reclaim our DNA, to reclaim our minds, and to really reclaim our spirits and our souls, quite frankly, because there is no justice in a system of white supremacy, right? So even when you hear words of phrases like racial justice, Mr. Fuller will even tell you, Mr. Neely Fuller Jr., shout out to him, will tell you it's an oxymoron. It does not make sense. It can't exist. You can't have justice within a system of injustice, period. You have to completely dismantle that system and to produce justice. I got my book right here. See?
Yeah, you got the books. You got the books. Nearly full of books. Nearly full of books.
So, but yeah, we definitely need a genetic colonic, but we need healing. We need healing, and we need to shift our thought, speech, and behavior patterns, right? Mm-hmm. That keep us wrapped up in this cycle. And honestly, you know, Malcolm X was one of the ones who really laid the foundation and the framework for us to really start to interrogate the psychological warfare, the embedded and internalized anti-Black racism that we have come to believe that is true, right? Mm-hmm. So we give thanks to him on his born day. The blueprint is already out there. I think that at this point in time, yes, content creators, yes, if you're a creative person, if you're a writer or whatever, you're a scholar, researcher, we need to continue to do new studies and to create new ideas. But really, what we really need to do is take a pause and have a reset and start to study from our ancestors and elders who have already laid the blueprints out for us and really master those things. There's one thing that I learned about Brother Malcolm, aside from him being a wonderful, upstanding man that represents true masculinity and a family man, but he was also a scholar. Scholarship, reading, learning these ideas, getting embedded and engrossed in a philosophy that really produces justice and promotes self-determination. That was something that was very, very important to him that he passed on to his daughters. They had to study. So we have to learn to build our scholarship, activism, and organizing together in order to produce justice. Or else we out here willy-nilly trying to reinvent the wheel when they've already created the blueprint for us, you know? And so that's what I would leave for the youth. And I hope that answers your question, Brother King Simon. But if you want to have a competition about these books,
I can keep on whipping out books forever, you know? Books are forever. Right. Hey, like I said, that book that he wrote, this one was called Conflicting Genes, Neutrinoid, and Genocide. This was polite back in the day. It's not one of those. And he had Barack Obama on there, the front page, because he knew he was mixed with a white guy. Yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying? He knew he was with a white guy.
Inside of Barack Obama's body, like his organ.
Yeah, got his organ, genetic colonic. It was a colonic he was trying to give him.
Love it.
Deep. So, yeah. but yeah, I know But our sister, we're not going to keep you for too long. I want family, people to support our sister. She's getting ready to head out of town, get down to Georgia and do her thing. And remember, please go to her website, Fly Nubian Power. And then, of course, she's on Buck Breaking, the movie, Buck Breaking movie she's on. Make sure you show some love to our sister via, of course, Cashapp, and hit up on IG. Remember, she's unapologetic. She do what she does and be what she is and is who she is. Let's give her a well-deserved round of applause.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for showing up and showing out. Well, thank you very much.
I want to thank you so much, Brother King Simon. You know, you're always welcome on my platform. And I also want to extend an invitation to Empress Aisha. You are always welcome to come into the Lioness Den. We're on YouTube at FlyNubianQueenTV.com weekdays at 12 p.m. Eastern time. So if you want to come on and drop some jewels like you've been dropping today, I would love to have you on.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yes,
definitely love to take you up on your offer.
Absolutely. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, beautiful. All right, have a great day, sister. All right. Okay, peace. That's our sister. Give her another well-deserved round of applause. Yes.
Yes. I like that genetic colonic.
Oh, yeah.
I need that on a t-shirt right now.
Yeah, why not?
Walk with that.
I could actually produce that on a t-shirt right now. He never did nothing with it as far as the t-shirt thing. But yeah, genetic colonic. Once again, family, we got to give her a well-deserved round of applause. Our beautiful Lioness Crowned that just came in. Show her love, please. Show her love. Her Cash App is there. Cash App is there. I want to thank everybody for doing any type of showing love via the Super Chat. Thank y'all. Although Super Chat been playing around, y'all might have to send Cash App for me. There's my Cash App right there, because Super Chat been playing around. So, you know, they take a lot of money from you and from YouTube. So you got to be very careful when you're sending that type of money, because they take a lot of money. It's better to send Cash App if you want to send Cash App to the show to help the machine going. Also, don't forget Aisha Amore. Hit up on her Cash App. That's Empress Amore, $Empress Amore. You can email her. You can also hit her up on IG at 1,000,000_adornment. You know. Now, I hope you enjoyed the show, my dear. I hope you enjoyed the show.
I loved it. Yes. Yes.
Good.
She's beautiful. She's a beautiful sis. I love to see our people come up and just sharing what they do. And, you know, she's about that life. So you can't do nothing but love. You know, and that's something else I wanted. You know, I wish I was able to share when she was on it. But a part of the genetic colonic is that one of the things we definitely need is love. Right. You know, you cannot do anything without love first.
That's
you know?
right.
You want to, we got to.
You got to do it with love. I think, of course, we all knew Malcolm did it with love.
Yes, he did. Oh my gosh.
We got to do it with love also.
My doctor.
I want to play something before I want to go to Malcolm X real quick before we close out the show. Let me remove some of this before I gotta check the feed and making sure that it's working.
No coping.
Hold 1 second. Let me click on this and keep it moving, because they got their commercials on this one here. So I want to make sure everybody get it. This is going to be a quick tribute to Malcolm X, real quick, family, and then we're going to close out the show. Let's see what happens here, and there we go. All right, here we go as we prepare to bring on Brother Malcolm X for his 96th birth anniversary. He would have been 96 years of age today. So let's welcome Brother Malcolm X.
To make a complete human being. Are you not perhaps afraid of what might happen to you as a result of making these revelations?
Oh yes, I probably am a dead man already. But when you understand the makeup of the Muslim movement and the psychology of the Muslim movement, as long as if I myself, by having confidence in the leader of the Muslim movement, if someone came to me and I had no knowledge whatsoever of what had taken place, and they told me what I'm saying, I would kill them myself. The only thing that would prevent me from killing someone who made a statement like this, they would have to be able to let me know that it's true. Now, if anyone had come to me other than Mr. Muhammad's son, I never would have believed it, even enough to look into it.
Powerful statement. Let's go to another clip as we're jumping through. This one, criticize Nano Eyes and the black people. Okay, never. Okay, let's go on.
In a book called The Judas Factor, written by Carl Evans, he speaks on another attempt on Malcolm's life. On July 4th, 1964, Malcolm stepped outside of his home to move his car closer to the house. As soon as he stepped on the sidewalk, 4 members of the NOI chased Malcolm, armed with knives, all the way to his car. Malcolm made it to his car, hurried up and locked the doors, and then he sped off. Another attempt was made on.
This was not the one I was supposed to play. It looked like it skipped. But let me see. That wasn't the one I was supposed to. There was supposed to be a lecture that I wanted to play. That wasn't the one I was supposed to play. But because that's dealing with the assassination attempt, we want to deal with the life and times of Malcolm. I had it. I don't know what happened to it. It disappeared. But it is what it is. Let's keep it moving. But yeah, we want to, of course, thank once again Lioness Crowned for coming on and showing her love from Fly Nubian Queen. And of course, we want to show love to the people that went out to show love to Malcolm X's family and Malcolm X at his gravesite. They was at his gravesite today. His gravesite was over there upstate New York, and they went to his gravesite. They usually do a regular pilgrimage to his gravesite for the last 56 years. They've been doing it, so it's free. Also, it's absolutely free. They give you free buses. And all of that, they actually take a ride, and you meet in front of the state building on Malcolm X's birthday at 8 o'clock, and they leave at 9 o'clock. And everybody's free to get on, and the children are welcome. Everybody's welcome to go. So if you can make it out next year, family, go next year, because people come from because things should be opened up by next year. So people, all you have to do is go there at the state building of 125th and Frederick Douglass Boulevard, or I know Adam Clayton Powell Boulevard, and then go right there to the state building and actually get on the bus. They allow you all on the bus. They have like 5 to 10 buses going to see Malcolm X's grave and saluting. And then what we usually do, we walk over to Khalid Muhammad's grave site. We walk over to Malcolm X's grandson's grave site. And of course, Betty Shabazz grave site is right next to Malcolm. So they're saluting both of them. And they just did it today. It was on Facebook Live. And I'll see if I can share it on my YouTube channel as far as the in the community section. I'll see if I can share that link so y'all can pick that up. All right. Before we close out, I want to make sure you do what you have to do with your beautiful products, my sister. Tell everybody about your products that we're about to put up on the screen. And this is her Million adornments. Enough respect to her and what she do. Tell them about the products.
Yes, my dear sisters, I make floral earrings, brothers too. I make these specifically for the sisters. And if you have your wives, your daughters, anyone who you mothers, whoever, sister friends, you can look for the earrings on @Million_adornments on Instagram. They're beautiful, they're lightweight, they're fun, they're attractive, and y'all it's just representing the feminine aspect of who we are. Something that we definitely need to make sure we sustain during this lifetime. That we own this, like the feminine world. We own this, like this is us. This is us, and it's also us in a way where we actually are, representing us, but it's also to represent, our men as well, because our men also, the masculine world needs the feminine world, so it's representing that balance. It's not taken away from them, but it's actually, enhancing our world together. Yeah. So look it up, check it out. This, talking about brother Malcolm X is just, it's very touching right now. Like I'm really feeling something right now. Mm-hmm. So, spiritually, my heart goes out to, his children, the grandchildren, the whole family, Shout out to all of them, much love to all of them and all those that stood by his side and all that, and to us all too who loves him. You know, everyone, Lioness, you know, Lioness Crowned, you know, all of us.
Right.
You know.
Right. Hey, enough salute.
The
Always.
family, everyone that's out there, yes.
Salute. Just want to remind people that tomorrow we have Baba Phil Valentine on my other YouTube channel, the Ministry of Numerovation. And also we'll be broadcasting on patreon.com/King Simon Productions on Patreon. Only because he's going, every time Baba Phil Valentine get on nowadays, I think they're trying to censor him on different. So it is a private link if you want it. It's a free private link if you want. All you have to do is go to the community section in King Simon Presents on YouTube. King Simon Presents on YouTube, and you will be able to press on that link tomorrow at 9 p.m. sharp, and you'll be able to see Baba Phil Valentine for free talking about his next webinar. Just want to keep it like that because I know every time he comes on, Brother Richard's page got shut down. Zoe Williams' page got shut down for a week just because of sometimes Phil could get into the reset issues and the whole kind of stuff. And since he wants to talk about recoding the human archetype, I don't want to go public with it. So we're going to keep it private and see how that works on my less popular page. But all of y'all can go to the Ministry of Numerovation right here on YouTube, or it's also called Numerovation, the Numerovation Nation. But I changed it to the Ministry of Numerovation. And you'll be able to see Phil Valentine tomorrow on Thursday, May the 20th. That's at 9 p.m. That's one of our special broadcasts. And then this coming Saturday, we're going to be speaking Math is God's Autobiography, the interview before the lecture comes on the 30th. So we're going to have these beautiful people on. Alma, Brother Joshua, they'll be on. You can subscribe. It will be right here on King Simon Presents and on the Numerovation Nation. That'll be on there, or the Ministry of Numerovation. And of course, this coming Sunday, we have this beautiful sister coming in live and direct, Nadine J. Barton. She will be coming in. She's a chief petty officer in the Navy. She's a multi-published author and trauma and pain survivor. So she's been through it, and the military and certain other factors has helped her to get through it. So enough respect to her. Yeah. And I'm not against people joining the military. I know a lot of us are not patriots like that, but if you can get that discipline, and if you need that discipline, sometimes you could join the Navy or the Army or the Air Force or the Marines, whatever you want to join, and get yourself some discipline if you're lacking it. That's what I'm saying. I got one son that's in the Army right now. I got another son that was a former Marine. My father was a former Marine. So it is what it is. Although I told him I don't agree with it, I said, if you need that discipline and you're not able to follow the discipline that I'm offering you or your mother's offering you, then go let the Europeans help you out with that. They can hook you up. You know what I'm saying? If that's the case, I got no problems. As long as you come back and teach us what you learned, I'm good. That's what I'm into. You got to go back behind enemy lines and learn sometimes for yourself. And that's how the FOI was taught, to go behind enemy lines and infiltrate and bring it back to your community like a spook who sat by the door. Watch that movie, The Spook Who Sat by the Door, that was written by Sam Greenleaf. Sam Greenleaf also died on Malcolm X's birthday also, which was crazy. About 5 to 10 years ago, he died on Malcolm X's birthday also. And Paul Mooney did today. Of course, on Wednesday, we have this sister went through a lot as a Black-owned and operated, the first Black-owned and operated booking, modeling agency, acting agency in Montreal, Canada. We have Susie Q, a.k.a. Jharriell, going to be here speaking about that, going back into time and coming back to there's still racism going on right now and certain things. So it is what it is. We're going to go through that and go through her career, and we're going to have a good time with that. And then on we have Spread Light and Love on a sponsor. We're definitely going to have Better Health Shop. She's going to be in the building on Saturday, May the 29th at 12 noon. That's Saturday, 12 noon, May the 29th, and that's called Better Health Shop. They got colloidal silver. They have monatomic gold. They have burdock root over there. They got all of that good stuff over there. Make sure you hit them up. And let me give you their website while we're at it. Let me promote all of these great sponsors right now. This is her website. Make sure you spread love. BetterHealthShop.etsy.com. That is the flyer, of course, the promotion that they gave me right there. BetterHealthShop.com. Show them some love. Show them some love. Show them some love. And make sure you buy that burdock root and soursop. I know they got soursop leaf and all that good stuff. So show them love. Also, if you want to deal with real estate and you want to buy your own real estate, or you want to get a consultant to help you and guide you to buy your own real estate, Jharriell is great. Jharriell Lewis is a great person. Make sure you check her out at 347-866-1153. That's 347-866-1153. Also, Lloyd Strayhorn. You want to get the classes from Lloyd. You want to take his numerology class. He got 2 classes online right now at lloyd-strayhorn.com. That's lloyd-strayhorn.com. Tell him King Simon sent you. That's all. We're spreading love to one of my teachers. You know what I'm saying? And my classes will be ready by June 22nd. It's going to be the early bird. The early bird class price is $222 for 9 30-minute to 45-minute classes. So it's going to be pre-taped, and then it's going to be dished out and sent out to the public who pays, especially if you do the early bird. After that, it's going to be a little bit more. So I'm going to let y'all know that right now. So y'all better jump on it, and email me at the email right there, the numero veta at Gmail, the numero veta at Gmail. Those are the only people that I'm going to deal with that really serious about the class. And here's another one of our great sponsors, the one, the only, pedalwise.com. Pedalwise.com. Go get their womb sweep. Go get their fibroid cleanser. All of that. Go to their website. If you feel you got some pains and all that aches and pains, sister can also do a consultation for you to give you guided methods on what to do. 10% off coupon is King 2021. The 10% coupon is King 2021. And make sure you show them some love there. And I think I forgot my son. Okay, there's my son. There's my son's flyer right there. Gonna make sure I got his flyer up there. The link right there. Make sure you show my son some love. He got some great music. Really, I'm not saying this because he's my son. Believe me, he makes me shiver when I hear his music. So I know he's a bad boy. So the multi-dimensional artist, and I'm a former radio personality. So I don't play nothing that messes up my show. So when he gets his music to me, that's what I'm going to do. Play some of his music. But the reason I can't play it now because everything is copywritten and YouTube is flagging every darn thing. So I got to be very careful of that when playing my own son's music. So it is what it is. Last but not least, last sponsor, of course, is myself. You want to do a new motivation session, please text me your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. If you live outside of the United States, let me say that loud. Not if you live in the United States. If you live outside of the United States, like if you live in Canada, the Caribbean, and Africa, you can text me via WhatsApp. Text me via WhatsApp, 347-496-1022. And of course, here we go with our content disclaimer. The views, comments, and opinions expressed by guests, speakers, or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised, family. And again, family, we want to send, before we say our prayers and get out of here, we want to say rest in peace to Baba Paul Mooney, who I had the chance of working with. He's a Leo spirit born August the 4th, 1941. And his, actually, he was in a health cycle this year too, which is interesting. So I guess, in a health cycle is usually a gain and loss of something, loss of life, all that can happen in a health cycle also. So he was definitely in a health cycle this year. So enough respect to our brother, Paul Mooney. I've worked with him. I've hung out with him at Caroline's back in the day. And he was always a gentleman, a scholar, and a comedic genius. As many people know, he's written for Red Fox, Richard Pryor. He's written for Dave Chappelle and different shows. And the brother's just a genius. And this is one of the broadcasts we did at CPAC. You can go right here on King Simon Presents. Go to see Paul Mooney, Throwback Paul Mooney at CPAC. And you can watch part 1 and part 2 produced by me and Polite back in 2013. So this was enough honors. And this touched me. I had to go for a walk when I heard that he transitioned. And I was just looking up in the sun and just not sun gazing, but just taking a good wink and saying, he's in a better place because he was suffering from dementia. I heard he was going through a lot of different things. So I'm glad he's transitioned in the sense that he's gone from this realm and gone into the realm of the Ogungun, which is that realm of the ancestors. And I'm sure he's hanging out with Richard Pryor and whoever else, George Carlin and all the rest of them that used to hang out, Lenny Bruce and all the other ones that used to, Moms Mabley, everybody. So enough respect to that ancestor. Give him a round of applause. Enough honor to you, Brother Paul. Enough honor to you. Prayer time, family. We're getting on out of here with the prayer. We're going to get on out of here with the prayer. Salute to Dr. Delbert Blair for this prayer here. Make sure you go to his website, themetacenter2.com. Themetacenter2.com for his books, Faraday, Tech, and Protector, and Magnets. Make sure you show Paul Mooney, Dr. Blair, that love. Go to his site. And are you ready for the prayer, sister?
Absolutely.
Let's do it. Let's make it happen. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Family, much love to us all, family. Deep breath in and exhale. Let's give thanks. Give thanks. Please, Universal Creator, know in my heart that I love you. Please protect me and this planet on which I live now. Please open my mind, my spirit, and my soul to receive only truth in your love now.
You know what you say to the people in the back. They got to hear it.
I got to take a sip of water. All right, everybody, let's do this collectively together. Here we go. Please, Universal Creator, know in our hearts that we love you. Please protect us and this planet on which we live now. Please open our minds, our spirits, and our souls to receive only truth in your love now. Give thanks.
Yes, Ashe. Enough thanks. Give thanks. My sister, thank you very much.
Thank you.
For making it here at this time. I want to thank, of course, our Lioness Crowned, and thank you.
Yes.
Give your children a group hug and all that good stuff, and have a great rest of your day today.
Yes, have a great day to you too, Lioness Crowned. Give thanks, and to the family and to all those that will be watching in the future. Give thanks to everyone, to you all, and ultimately to the Most High. Give thanks.
That's
Much respect to our brother Malcolm X, and as of this day, Paul Mooney as well. Peace.
That's right. Thank you very much, sis. All right, we'll talk later, right?
Okay.
All right. Give thanks. Our great one, Empress Aisha Moore, as we get ready to close out. Again, rest in peace, Paul Mooney. Rest in power. Salute to Malcolm X. Baba Malcolm. Salute to him. We out of here, family. Want to thank each and every one of you for participating. Remember, family, regardless of land, labor, or language, there's but one God. And the immortal words of Marcus Mosiah Garvey, of you mighty nation, can accomplish what you will. Have a great day, afternoon, and evening as I leave you in peace. Hotep, assalamu alaikum, shalom, Islam, and all the great attributes and all the great words of peace. King Simon is out of here.